It's Friday, September 20th, and it's time for your weekly recap. This week, you guys brought out some amazing questions on the topic of audience management, so let's get right into it. Matthew from YouTube, how do you stop kids from thinking you're supposed to try and reveal the tricks during kids' shows? One good way to offset this is to have your character experience the magic along with the audience. In other words, the magic is happening to you instead of you causing the magic. That takes a lot of the heat off of the method and makes it more about the experience. Jonathan from Twitter, what do you do or say if you get caught doing a move? I suggest that you learn as many different moves as you can to accomplish the same effect. That way, if someone calls you out on a move, you can immediately go back into the routine and do it in a completely different way. So the way that they're looking for, the way they expect it to work, is not actually how you do it the second time around, and you're able to offset the fact that they think they saw you do something. Something that's really, really important that I feel like a lot of magicians don't do is when an audience member calls them out on something, they don't go back and fix the problem. They just go and do the same show the same way the next time. If an audience member says that they saw you do something, that can help you. What you do is you take that information, you go home, you study that area of your show, try and figure out where the problems are, try and find solutions for those problems, and then the next time you go out, your show's gonna be even better. Now's the part of the show where I tell you something I'm excited about. This week it is Token by Paul Richards. This is a very, very cool ESP trick. One of the cleanest predictions that I've seen in a very long time. I highly recommend checking this out. Very easy to do, very amazing. This is Token by Paul Richards. Unicycling Dude from YouTube. How do you keep kids in order but still letting them have fun having fun? Performing for kids can be a double-edged sword. It can be a lot of fun because there's a lot of energy there and they love watching the magic. But kids also have a mind of their own. They go crazy and do wacky stuff, especially if they've been eating cake right before your show. One thing that I do when I do a kids show is I tell them that the magic show works the best right before the cake, because then the kids aren't sugared up until after your show is done. Another thing that can really help you is your character work. I kind of see my character as this like 1950s dad from a sitcom or something, where I'm just really patient and kind to the kids, but at the same time I'm being stern when I need to be. I'm very direct with them and I talk to them like they're adults. I don't talk to them like they're little kids. If you treat them with respect and patience, usually they'll bounce that right back at you. Nick from Facebook, what do you do when you're working with hecklers? If you're consistently getting frazzled by hecklers, what I think you should do is after you finish performing for a heckler, write down the things that they said. And then try and find some clever thing that you could say back to somebody if they ever say that again. By having these one-liners sort of stocked up and ready to go, your hecklers are going to see right away that you're ready for them. And they want to see that. They want to say something that they think is clever and have you say something even cleverer back without missing a beat. I've sort of grown into enjoying working for hecklers, and I think that they can really help your magic if you don't get frazzled by them. The first thing is they're going to call you out on stuff that is wrong with your show. So if there's something wrong with your show, if there's something that you're doing that is transparent, they're going to point it out, whereas a polite audience member might not, which means you can fix it for the next show. Also, hecklers are more engaged in your show than probably any other spectator. They want to be a part of it, they want to be engaged in it, and so that's a good thing. I would much rather have a table that has a heckler at it than a table where everyone's on their cell phones and not watching the show. And just stay cool. Don't get frazzled by it, because what they want is for you to either get frazzled by it or to handle it. And if you handle it, they're going to respect you, they're going to give you bigger tips, they're going to shake your hand at the end, they're going to go, you're really talented. And that, I think, is one of the most satisfying things that you can do in close-up magic, is deal with a heckler and have them respect you at the end of it. J. Henning Magic 01. When performing street magic, I sometimes get one or two spectators that stick around too long and then ruin the show for the next audience. How do I nicely notion or get them to leave? This is a problem I had a lot when I first started doing street magic, and the reason it was such a problem is because I didn't have a clear, definite ending to my show. End your show and say goodbye to everybody. And if they're still standing there, say, oh, I'm not going to be doing another show for another 30 minutes, so, thanks for watching. and see you later or whatever. And just make sure that they leave before you start up doing another show. Take a break. And it's better for you to take a break and let people walk by without starting up a new show than it is to start up a new show and have these stragglers that are ruining your show the whole time. Spazzy Friends from YouTube, what do you do if people call out on a move such as a double lift? A standard audience is not going to know what a double lift is. So if they're calling you out on it, it means you need to work on your double lift. When there's something like that that the audience is not supposed to see and they see it, it means that you need to work on it. So it's not the audience's fault. They're actually helping you out. They're showing you that there is a flaw in something that you're doing. This happened to me recently. I was doing a force. The force seemed to be a little too obvious to someone. They called me out on it. I thought about it, moved to the next table, and changed it just slightly. Changed the way I was doing it. And for the rest of the night, that trick got way better reactions. I bet you that all the tables up until that table saw how I was doing that trick and were being polite. But that one person that pointed it out to me, I'm very thankful to, because it made me change it and I got better reactions as the night went on. The Obscurantist. Hey Chris, what's your justification for moving spectators away from an angle that would expose the trick? Do you tell them a pseudo explanation or you just tell them the truth? I'm looking forward to your answer. It depends on the situation that I'm in, but most of the time I will use my body to block certain angles and make it so that if they're gonna watch the magic trick, they have to walk around. And if that doesn't work, I'll be like, hey, come on in over here, right here, there's a good spot, there's plenty of room for everybody, and I will make it more about, hey, I'm trying to help you see the magic, as opposed to, hey, I don't want you to see what I'm doing, because, you know, that'll ruin it for me, personally. Connor from YouTube, hi Chris, how would you deal with spectators trying to expose your trick? Also, let's say you're holding a gimmick card, a double face for example, and a spectator reaches and snatches it from your hand. How do you deal with it? Because you can't exactly pull away, otherwise it's suspicious. How do you deal with that? The props that you use are your property. So not letting someone snatch it out of your hand isn't a suspicious thing. It's, hey, what are you doing? You can't just take something from somebody's hand. You can call them out on their politeness. Call them out on it, right? Yeah. Yeah, you don't have to stand for that. You just say, hey, that's mine. That's mine. Or just say, hey, you know what? I'm not done with this yet. Just give me a second, then I'll let you see it. And do something to ditch the prop that you need to make examinable. Dustin from YouTube, hey Chris, what do you do when you mess up a trick? You know, that rare occasion that you lose a card you're tracking and you panic. Also, how often do you mess one up? Occasionally I do mess up, but I never let my audience know. The way that I do that is I stay confident, I act like it's a part of the trick, and I go in and fix the problem using sleight of hand. One of the best tricks out there for learning how to deal with a bad situation is the trick that cannot be explained. That trick, if you study it, will give you multiple different outs for specific situations that you could find yourself in, and it also teaches you to work on the fly. This week we're giving away Mad Sponges. This is going to be a signed set that I'm going to make out to you personally. If you haven't checked out the Mad Sponges trailer yet, go ahead and click on the link down below to check it out. How you're going to win this is you're going to use the coupon code MAD, that's all caps, MAD, MAD, and spend over $50. If you use the coupon code for any purchase, you're going to get 5% off your entire purchase. But if you spend over $50, your name goes into the running to win the Mad Sponges set signed and made out to you, because you're special. That coupon code is going to be good all week, and we are going to do the drawing on Friday, the 27th. Okay, that's all the time we have for this week. Be sure to join us next week where we're going to be talking about inventing magic. So leave your questions on that down in the comment section down below or on any of the social media places where you can find us. Also, be sure to subscribe if you haven't done that already, or check out one of the awesome videos right over here.